everybody, welcome back to Cosmic Life Astrology. I'm your astrologer Stacey, and I'm here to talk about the Cancer full moon happening on January 13th, 2025. This is our first full moon of the year, and also the first full moon after the nodal shift into Pisces and Virgo. So we have a lot to go over with this moon, and I want to say that it's very well supported. This should be a very beneficial full moon for everybody. However, if this moon is not hitting something in your chart, you may not feel the effects of it. You know, typically new moons and full moons and some of the planetary shifts aren't going to affect you as significantly unless it's hitting something in your chart. So take a look at your chart to follow along with what planets are being affected by this full moon, and that'll give you an idea of if and how it's going to affect you in your life. So this full moon is happening at 24 degrees of Cancer. Obviously the sun is in Capricorn on the other side of the fence, and we have some positive aspects being made to Uranus, to Neptune, the North Node, and to Juno. And so this paints a very broad picture of, even though there may be some things coming to culmination or coming to a close in some way or coming to manifestation, there is beneficial support for what is happening or what is going to transpire. Now with full moons, typically the energy is most potent within a few days of the full moon. However, it can linger on for 2 weeks until we have a new moon. But, you know, I say with the new moons and the full moons, essentially, they both play out for a period of a month until the next full moon cycle or the next new moon cycle. So you may see something, you know, that may take a month before it completely closes or completely comes to manifestation. So with Cancer, we're talking about a watery sign, very emotional. The moon is at home in Cancer, which is very favorable. And the full moon is conjuncting Mars retrograde. This makes it a little more challenging to predict because Mars is in detriment in Cancer. It does not like being in Cancer, and on top of that, it's retrograde. So Mars is definitely not functioning very well during this full moon. However, when you have a full moon conjuncting Mars, in general, you can expect a lot of passionate interactions in some way, whether that's passionate exchanges about great ideas or, you know, something that you're working on where you just kind of feed off of each other's, you know, intuitive or your visions that you're coming up with, or it could be romantic passion. Whatever it may be for you, the moon is going to have more strength than Mars. So, you know, for some, it may be harder to find that passion. Mars is also about the actions we take, what motivates us, what drives us forward. And so, you know, there could be some emotional drive to, you know, with full moon, to get something done, to bring things to a close, to culminate something or manifest something, you know, to its fruition. But with Mars retrograde, Mars is being more reflective, especially in the sign of Cancer. Cancer is already a very reflective sign, emotional and sensitive, and, you know, loves to think about the past in a sentimental way. They tend to hold on to the past and connect things to the past very easily. So Mars is being very reflective. He's not taking a lot of action while he's in retrograde and in his detriment. Mars is kind of toning down his passions and trying to navigate the emotional waters of Cancer right now. So, you know, we'll see more of the moon energy at play during this full moon. And then we have some beneficial aspects in the background. So we have the full moon making a sextile to Uranus, and because the sun is opposing the moon, the sun is making a trine to Uranus. So both the sun and the moon are making positive, beneficial connections to Uranus. Now, this means that there could be shakeups that help bring things to culmination. There could be sudden insights or, shifts that occur to help bring things to culmination or a close, or to really manifest what it is that you're trying to get done. Excuse me. All of a sudden, as I'm taping this, my throat's deciding to act up, so I apologize. So we have Uranus in the mix, which is a very unpredictable factor, but Uranus likes to bring change, likes to do things differently, likes to shake things up, and, can help with breakthroughs and breakups if that's what's needed in your life. And so, that is something to keep in mind. We also have the moon making a trine, excuse me, to Neptune in Pisces, which Neptune, being the ruler of Pisces, is all about our visions, our dreams, our spiritual side, what it is that we want to create, our subconscious, our, the ethereal realms of life. But it's very visionary, and at the same time, it's also about bringing things to a conclusion, dissolving things if necessary, because it is the last sign of the zodiac. So a lot of people do see that this kind of connection can help bring something to a resolution. Excuse me. I apologize. I don't know what's going on with my throat. We also have the North Node at 29 degrees of Pisces. This is an anaretic degree, and that is why I think that there's going to be more of a resolve, or the ending of something, the releasing of something, because that anaretic degree is about completion. And, Neptune is only 2 degrees away from the North Node, so therefore Neptune and the North Node are working together. And we have water signs that are connecting with each other. So there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of intuition, connection to your spirituality, things that, may be hidden that need to come to, our attention to be addressed. And then we also have a connection to Juno in Scorpio. Now, we haven't paid too much attention to Juno lately because there's been more significant astrology going on as of late. But Juno is a factor with this full moon because it is in trine to the full moon and to Neptune. And obviously at the North Node more loosely. But Juno is in Scorpio. And Scorpio is about money and greed and power and control, and, has deep emotions. Scorpio has a lot of things that they hide underneath, to kind of protect themselves. But they're very strong-willed, they stick to their convictions. And so Juno in Scorpio is very much about those deep commitments. Juno has an energy of being about our marriage, our committed partnerships, and that's her main focus. So this could play out in partnerships regarding romantic or business. Now, if it's happening in a business sense, you can see that something that you've been caring for or putting your energy towards can now be completed, because Cancer, puts energy and work, especially into things that it cares about, its home, its family, things that are important to its safety and security, right? Which can be work related, because your livelihood brings you financial security. And with that trine to the North Node and Neptune, you could be having something come to completion that you've been striving towards, you know, a goal that you've been trying to achieve, or maybe a degree or some kind of certification, where this could be a culmination of that effort that you were putting into what you were trying to obtain. Now, if this is relationship oriented, there could be some problems that need to be resolved within that relationship. Or if it can't be resolved, that relationship will be let go of. Okay. When it comes to home and family, I could see this very much playing out in regards to, you know, say you're doing work on a house where you've been putting a lot of energy and money into whatever project you're doing at the home front, and now it's finally coming to completion, culmination, and it's time to relax and let, you know, settle into your new, you know, your newly designed or, you know, finished home in whatever way that you were doing these projects. You know, Neptune is Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So it is about the house of rest, as well as spirituality and our visions and all that. So this could bring a sense of relief and an ability to relax after a long period of putting effort and energy into something that is now completing, which is very welcomed by all of you, I'm sure, because a lot of people have been saying how they're running on fumes and they're tired, and you know there's a lot of Pisces energy at play, which can contribute to that. You know, we have Venus, Saturn, Neptune, and now the North Node in Pisces. So, you know, that 12th house energy is very much active for everybody, where, you know, especially with Mars retrograde, you may lack the motivation and the wherewithal to, you know, get things done and to keep going, and getting through every day can be a struggle during this time. I think we'll get some of that, you know, energy and momentum back when Mars goes direct, but I digress. Back to the full moon. The point is, this could be very beneficial for those of you who have been working on something that is now completing. Now, I always do this in my videos because I have Cancer in my first house, and I tend to be very nostalgic, and I love to look back at the past to understand cycles. And I share that with you for the astrology part, because we have to look at astrology as cycles, and a lot of these cycles repeat themselves. So when did we see a Cancer moon at 24 degrees? That was July of 2023. On the 17th of July, to be exact. We had a new moon in Cancer at 24 degrees, and Venus was about to station retrograde. A few days after the new moon, she did start her retrograde process. So during that Cancer new moon in July of 2023, there was some kind of new beginning, a new start that had to do with love, money, finances, you know, things that we're creating. And now that we're seeing the Cancer full moon at the same degree, we could especially see a culmination of what started in July of 2023 now come to a close. You know, if you started a relationship during that time, for one, starting a relationship during Venus retrograde is not a good idea. But you may see that that relationship can come to an end now. I'm sorry to say that, but, you know, that is very much, you know, the first thing that comes to my mind when I see a full moon at the same degree, and you see the cycle that it started during a Venus retrograde, and now at the full moon, we have Mars retrograde. So going back on actions or something that you began, right, is very possible. You could also see that maybe for those of you who aren't in a relationship, maybe during that time you had a breakup, right? And you've been single ever since. And now with this full moon, you're completing healing that wound, that broken heart, because Cancer is very much about our emotions, right? You're coming to a completion of that healing cycle, that healing journey you've been on, and now you're ready to open yourself up to somebody new. And I say that that could very well be the case for those of you not in a relationship, especially because of the nodal shift. And especially during this time as we see the supporting aspects, you know, it's pointing towards the ability to release something, Neptune, right? And completely let go of something from, you know, that may be from the past. And that trine to Juno, understanding what commitments mean to you, you know, also understanding, you know, love, power struggles, and your deep emotions of what you need, what you want. And, you know, even regards to money, but we're staying on relationships right now. And with that sextile to Uranus, you could suddenly meet somebody that you may not have expected to meet, or there may be a shakeup with someone that's already in your periphery that changes the trajectory because we have a nodal shift. So fate has got its hand on the wheel right now with the nodes at an anaretic degree. They just change signs, and now there's a turning of the tide, right? So we're done with that Aries Libra axis, and, you know, understand everything that we need to understand about the me versus we. And now we're able to change into a more spiritual side, maybe more spiritual connections with people, and, you know, let go of that need for perfection, right? Let go of being overcritical, right? And just allowing things um, to develop on their own. Let go of control, right? Because Virgo can be controlling. I'm kind of meshing into what I'm going to talk about during my node video, but the Cancer full moon, you could see some of the potentials, whether it be, you know, a relationship that started during that new moon in July of 2023 when Venus stationed for her retrograde, now coming to a close because Mars is retrograde and he's like looking back at the actions he took. You could see, you know, if you've been on a healing journey and, you know, mending a broken heart, now you're ready for someone to come in. If this is career focused, you may have been putting a lot of work into establishing security for your family, where now you can see the fruits of your labor and you get a promotion or you get a job offer that gives you that stability, right? We're talking about closing one cycle out and releasing something, and the ability to change a trajectory with Uranus at play and the nodal shift at play. So, you know, I do think that this is going to be very beneficial for full moon. Very watery because we have connections to Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. So there could be a lot of emotions. And emotions doesn't mean that you'll be sad and crying. No, it could be very happy emotions. You could be elated about what's coming to culmination during this time. You could be overwhelmed with emotions because of, you know, say you get a job offer, you know, that changes your whole life. Or if someone does come into your life, you could be super excited with emotions and, you know, about this new person that you're getting to know. Whatever it turns out to be, it is beneficial. And if there is some turmoil along the way for some of you, because Uranus is an unexpected energy in the mix, just understand that you can't control everything. Let everything, you know, develop on its own and go with the flow, as hard as it may be. But with the South Node in Virgo, there's a need to let go of control. So if you are having a difficult time, you have to let things play out the way that they're supposed to, because at the end of the line, you will be put in a better position, or have a better opportunity down the road. Okay, so if there's something that you're letting go of now that is unexpected or does cause a lot of turmoil or shakeups in your life, just know that it is helping you to shift towards a better direction. Okay, so that's what I have for you with this full moon. You know, I do have to say, when I saw the fires happening in California, for those of you who are watching and are out in California, I send so much love and prayers and good good energy towards you guys. I'm at a loss for words with what's happening with the California fires. You know, it's been difficult to watch, and I'm on the East Coast. So I do want to say, with a watery full moon, and we have, you know, Mars is retrograde. So we're looking at, you know, with that situation, there's a shortage on water, right? Mars retrograde in the water sign of Cancer, okay? Someone didn't fill the reservoir, okay? Mars, past actions, right? And the Cancer full moon, you know, I do think that there will be, with that connection to Uranus, something, you know, there'll be a sudden development that'll help with this situation, especially with the water situation, because of all the watery energy that's going on with this full moon. And I hope that that's the case, because you guys need it. You really do. And my heart goes out to all of you who are in California. And with that said, I'm sending so much positive vibes to everyone watching. And stay tuned for the video that I'll be making on North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo for the next year and a half. I will be talking about how it's going to affect each sign when I make that video. So stay tuned for that. I hope this video helps you navigate the full moon energies. And if you do like this video, please comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Help me grow the channel so I can keep making more videos and connect with more people who want to learn more about astrology. So I really appreciate all of you. Have a great week. Take care.